been hearing it and see why people are hating on it. I haven't watched it, and yet I'm already hating on it because I'm avoiding it. HBO Max original animated series, Velma, which it's Velma Dinkley's take on the whole Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. thing. Yeah, I don't like it. Okay, so when I first heard about it being released, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, when they said that Shaggy was going to be African American, I was like, okay, how's that going to work? I hope they're not going to force it. I hope it's done naturally. Alright, whatever. Seeing the pictures and the reviews, we don't have Scooby-Doo. Last I checked, Scooby-Doo was a Great Dane. He was a dog. He was Shaggy's best pal in the whole wide world. She's a woman. He's a woman. Meaning she's a woman. It's like, why? I'm all, if this is a reimagination, you should still stick with the source of material. Like, for example, Netflix's original series, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is based off the Archie comics and the 90s television sitcom series. So The Teenage Life of Sabrina. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, excuse me. And it's basically, chronicling, Sabrina's normal teenage life as a half-witch. Because she's half-witch and half-human, and she lives with her aunts, Aunt Zelda, Aunt Hilda, and she has Salem, who was in the show a talking cat. Well, in the Netflix series, unlike its, its childish, innocent predecessor, which, she had her powers. They get their powers from, Lucifer Morningstar and the Black Sabbath, And you have Salem, who turns out to be a familiar, a goblin. But he doesn't talk, but yet he's still a cat. So that's different. It was reimagining, it's a bit on the darker side, but it still stayed with the source of material. It, just so happened to be based off the reimagining comic book series of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Yeah, they kind of changed things up a bit because the first few volumes were the Witch War. Well, this is not a reimagining. This is changing up to a point where it is not okay. It's got a lot of racism in it and a lot of, things that doesn't seem like it's okay. Yeah, it's adult cartoon. It's not for kids, but I think they took it way, way too far. I mean, especially when Velma says, "Oh, this is my take on it," so she could say just about anything, like an unreliable narrator. On top of which, all right, okay, the adults need to have their own shows, like the Titans, for example. It used to be DC Universe before it's now on HBO Max. The Titans, which was the adult version of the Teen Titans. Of course, it's a lot different because they're basing it more on the comic books. And in the comic books, it wasn't exactly for kids. I mean, you have people getting killed and arms getting ripped off and things like that. And I really did like the Titans because it was a nice take on it, but it also, again, it was mostly based on the comic books, based on the source of materials. Velma is not. And I'm not happy with it. I'm not going to watch it, because obviously it is exactly what I thought it was. There was nothing natural about it. There's no flow to it. It's just, here you go. It's the whole think what the fans want versus give what the fans want. Last I checked, I didn't ask for Velma. The only thing I asked for was a Marvel and DC crossover, but that's never going to happen because Henry Cavill's no longer Superman. Ben Affleck's no longer Batman. Tony Stark, Chris Evans is no longer Tony Stark. No, excuse me. Chris Evans is no longer Captain America, and Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. is no longer Tony Stark. So Iron Man and Captain America are gone. The real ones. So yeah, that's never going to happen. Because not only that, Wonder Brothers, DC is under affiliation by Warner Brothers, and Marvel is under affiliation of Disney, so that's never going to happen unless there's a huge profit between the two. So, yeah. Velma, no. Because I'm getting like if you've seen an episode of Ed, Edd and Eddy back in the day when it was on Cartoon Network, there was an episode of it where they were where Ed, Edd and Eddy were stuck in the wall of Johnny's bedroom, and they're each of them taking a turn in the part of why they're in the situation that they're in, meaning that each of them are telling a different side of the story, and therefore you never really found out how they got in the wall. All you do know is that in Ed's version, the Kenker sisters turned into one head, and Eddie goes, "Ed, your story's getting weird." So, yeah, I'm not watching Velma. I don't think it's okay. Reportedly, it's getting a second season, but I don't think it's going to happen because a lot of fans are pissed off with it, backlashing it. Not only that, there's a lot of, there's apparently a really bad Me Too joke in it. Like I said, I'm not touching it. I wasn't going to touch it before because I kind of felt like it was forced. Nothing natural about it. So, yeah, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to waste my time on it. Yep. That's how it is. That's gonna be it from you folks. I'm not watching Velma. I don't know what you guys think. Leave a comment below. But I'm not watching it. I'm not watching an episode. I think it's really stupid. If I had to choose between watching Velma and watching The Last of Us, which I got to see last night, it's kind of slow, but it's kind of building up, and it's kind of seems to be remain true to the game because it does have a lot of scenes from the game. Something that I wish Resident Evil would have followed, but it is what it is. So if I had to choose between Velma and The Last of Us, I would choose The Last of Us. That's just me, folks. So, yep, that's just me.